Hello everyone. I think I'm finished with the painted paper glue book. Been working on it. I think I'm finished with it, but I'm going to live with it for a couple weeks. Take some looks at it and just decide if I want to add anything more to it, but I think it's finished. I think it is done. So I wanted to do a flip through so that you can see it. There is a playlist for this book. It started out, the pages were jelly plate prints and under paper bits and some painted papers that I had that I wanted to use. So that's what the pages are. I did do a cover, a novel cover. I wanted it to be black because the pages are so colorful and they're a little crazy. I thought the black would contain it a little bit. The spine is 2 inches wide, so there's a lot of pages in here. All right, so let's just take a look. I've used a lot of bits on top of the painted papers. Newspaper, book text, tissue paper, envelope, security envelope patterns, things that I really liked, postage stamps, joss papers. So if you want to see how this book began, the playlist is in the description box below. Hershey's chocolate wrapper. And you can see the pages that I collected to make the book before I folded them and sewed them in. There's some nail polish on that bit. This is a piece of wax paper that I used for an art journal so that, you know, when the acrylic paint was wet, the pages wouldn't stick together as it dried. And I couldn't throw it away. I had to use it somewhere, so there's a lot of that kind of thing in here. More joss paper, packing tape, spirograph, a lot of different things in here. I don't want to go too quickly so that you can see all the details, because there's a lot of stuff in here. Another piece of spirograph paper with some nail polish on the top. And I tried to, putting the pages together, they ended up being different colors, different color schemes. So as I was putting things in, I tried to tie both sides of the page together with whatever I was gluing in. It's a piece of, I don't know what it's, a handmade paper or something that's got fibers in it. I really like that. I like book text with different languages that I don't speak. I like the looks of the different characters of different languages, so I've got a lot of that in here. I like tickets. I like the look of numbers, so there's lots of numbers. Lots of tickets. My handmade stamps, I've used quite a bit in here. I've used, I make a lot of different ones. They're slightly different than each other. So I've used a lot of those in here. It's interesting to see how it's ending up. This piece of foil. I do use glue stick for my glue books. I find that it's easier to use. I can do a page and not have to wait for a gel medium or something to dry. I can just flip the page and not worry about things sticking. So I like my glue stick. It doesn't work for everybody, but for me, if it comes unglued, I will just re-glue it. But I don't really have a big problem with things coming unglued. put quite a bit of glue stick on, so it works really well. Crayola wrappers, cupcake wrappers, or papers. This is a piece of paper that I really, really enjoyed, so I couldn't put anything on top of it. It is crayon rubbings on one of my handmade stamps, and then watercolor put over the top. The crayon acts as a resist, so you can see the circles of the stamp. Just like the way that looked. And I couldn't cover any little bit of it. I was going to cover something, but I just couldn't. Just couldn't do it. Joss papers, tissue paper. I like putting the handmade papers over other handmade papers. And I liked the wax paper. I can see both sides of whatever. So I made sure that there was something on each side before I glued it down. This is, I think this comes from a penny box, like little coins, the pennies. I think it has the little circles in it. I really liked it and I wanted to use it for something, so I painted it and put it in here. Music. Like this tissue paper also, it's silver, so it shimmers. Dress patterns, I like the arrows for those. Tickets are great. I enjoy numbers a lot. Of course, I have the puzzles over here with numbers on them as well. This is a tissue paper bit. Word search. You can see where I'd painted on that paper. This is a piece of drywall tape. I use it for a stencil. I really like this stuff. And after I get some paint on it and give it some color, then I use it as collage fodder. I get that at the hardware store. It's fun to use. More nail polish, more postage stamps. Some punchinella. It was really hard to glue in, but so far it's staying put. I have a box of papers, handmade papers and things like that. I like the texture on some of those, so I added some of those. Security envelope patterns. Like to collect those. I don't use them enough, but I use them quite a bit. That's one of my favorite ones right there. Paper punch stars. Another piece of wax paper. Don't you just love the sound of that? Little bits of pages that I put in. Another ticket. This one's wrapping paper. I like my pages to be different sizes. I like the little tiny pages against the larger pages. Don't know why. I just do. This is from a maze book, a children's maze activity book. Another cupcake paper. Some pages are really, really busy. but they're fun. Sometimes I just make up my own little tickets. I color a piece of paper and stamp numbers on it just to make it look like a ticket, or just I like the looks of numbers. Another busy painted paper page that I wanted to put something on, but just really liked the looks of all the stuff that was on it already, so I didn't put anything else on there. This is a bit of tissue paper, joss paper. I like the faces. Here's a bit of embossed bit. Some kind of embossing. I think I did that with a stencil. Here's a piece of wax paper that I sprayed a doily over. Spray inks or something. More of that drywall tape. Another cupcake wrapper. This is the one with the circles on it. I thought that was really cool. Spirograph bits. This is one of those that was hard to tie together because both sides were very different in color. More security envelope pattern. I like that dark one too. I did quite a bit of spirograph, and I put a lot of nail polish on top of those for a little sparkle. That pattern came from a fly swatter. I call my toy box these little objects that I use for stamping and spraying and using for crayon rubbings. I've got a whole little box of objects to use for mark making and such, and that's in my toy box. Joss papers. This is a crayon rubbing, I believe, over a flip-flop, also in my toy box. Fun foam. I doodled circles on this one. That's a little crazy. Piece of cross-stitch mesh. It's the circular one. I like doing stuff with that one. I like circles. I really do enjoy circles. so big, it doesn't stay flat. There's that great big huge spirograph. I got this one at the Dollar Tree. It's for little kids, and it gives you a really big design. Tissue paper with gold on it. This is a piece of confetti from a Mardi Gras parade. I liked that, so I like the shimmer. One of my favorite cupcake wrappers or papers. I got this one at the Dollar Tree at Halloween time, and I haven't seen it in quite a few years. I don't think they make them anymore, but I really like that one, so it's nice to have it in this book so I can visit it sometime. This is Joss paper. Another doily. Sprayed wax paper or parchment paper, one of the two. Gum wrapper. And I just glued that on with glue stick, and it stays really well. It's been there for about a year, I think. I started this in January. It's now November, and it's not coming up at all. I think that's a piece of scrapbook paper. That catches your eye, doesn't it? It's in your face. Candy wrapper. And some more of those confetti bits. They're shimmery. I like them. Another gum wrapper, Joss paper, almond roga. This is from a wax bag, a gift bag I think it is. But I like the shimmer. Sometimes I use that for pages in a journal. This one's pretty busy. This is it's a copy of a recipe that my grandmother wrote. She had notebooks of recipes everywhere, and I scanned them for the family, and then I copied out a few so that I could use them. She had great handwriting. Not a whole lot to say. That polka dot paper again. Newspaper. This is a piece of napkin. Looks a little plain. I might have to add something to that page. This is an old prescription. It's a vintage piece. I like being able to see it through the wax paper there. Another cupcake paper. Another bit of that letter that my great-grandfather wrote. I guess it's great-great-grandfather. I got that wrapper, that paper in here twice. That's okay. I like to visit it. Pages will not stay open by themselves, so I'm getting my fingers in here. This is a piece of, it's almost plastic. It came from a Oriental, I think it's a Chinese market, the top ramen. I like to get different flavors, so that came from the flavor packet in that top ramen. I really, really liked it, so I put it in here. And again, I just used glue stick, and it's been in here for quite a while, and it's not coming up at all. This is a piece of tissue paper. Rice paper, I think that one is. This is I'm not sure if I want to put these little circles in here. These are hole reinforcers for putting papers in binders. I like to paint them, draw, use pencil on them, scribble on them. I like to add color to them. I haven't decided if I'm adding them. I'm thinking I'd like to add them just like that without the paper underneath. But I'm not sure exactly if I really want to do that or not yet, so I have it in here to decide later. I do have a video on how I did this and other ones. It's in the video right before this one if you are interested in seeing that process. Another piece of Joss paper. Another piece of that drywall tape. It's really cool stuff. It's fun stuff to use. Banana sticker. And that's lottery ticket paper. Newspaper from India. Watercolor with bubble wrap. Did that quite a long time ago. More crayon rubbings. This is over a fly swatter that I found at the Dollar Tree, and then I added inks on top of it so that it's a resist. I used white crayon. That's velvet. I think it feels good. This one I did a long time ago. This piece of paper, I put some rubber bands down and sprayed inked over the rubber bands to cause that pattern. A lot of wax paper in here. This is a security envelope pattern. Came from Hawaii. They make poi out of those leaves. I forget what she called them. It was gifted to me all the way from Hawaii. More, no, I think that is glitter paint. Library card. And that is it. The end. So I do think it's done, but like I said, I'm going to live with it for a couple weeks. I might want to add something in a couple of those places. Just wanted to let you see what happened to this. I'm excited that I finally finished something. It's been a while since I've finished anything. So, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.